movement series 3, which involves sun B's. Movement series 2 is sun A's, so now we're moving forward. You're going to need 2 blocks and your yoga mat for this series. And we're going to start on hands and knees. Again, go through your checklist. Make sure that your wrists are right below your shoulders. Your knees are below your hips. You're not bending or rounding. You're somewhere in the middle, neutral spine. And you're engaging your deep abdominal muscles. Keep your neck long and your gaze just past your fingers. On your next inhale, you're going to bring your fingers and your hands forward just a few inches. Tuck those toes, and you're going to raise your hips to the ceiling. Slight bend in the knees to down dog. And if you feel flexible and strong here, you can straighten your legs, bring your heels as close to the mat and the back wall as possible. Knees come in, turn in, shoulders and elbows turn out. Inhale, look forward to your low squat. And we're going to move to flat back. Keeping that neutral spine, pelvic floor up, deep abdominal muscles in. Now, instead of going to standing, we're going to bend our knees here and move into chair pose. Keeping your knees over your toes. You're really bent here. And you're leaning out over your knees with your arms straight and your gaze just past your mat. Don't forget to breathe here because this is definitely a more difficult pose to hold. And when you're ready, you're going to hinge from the hips, back to flat back, down to your squat, push to plank, and in down dog. Hips up, knees slightly bent. On your next inhale, we're going to do a forward lunge on your right foot. So inhale, look forward, and you're going to lift your foot and bring it right between your hands. Here's where you're going to grab both blocks on either side of your foot. You're going to form a 90-degree angle with your right knee, and your hands rest gently on the blocks. And this helps to keep a nice straight spine so that we're not doing too much rounding. And you'll just breathe here. You should feel a nice stretch in your inner left hip. And your goal is to bring your right hip back as you stretch. Now from here, this forward lunge, we're going to go into Warrior One. So you're going to drop your left heel, keep your right knee bent, and you're just going to lift your torso up just slightly. And you have a slight forward bend, and then your arms come up. If you straighten too much, you might go into a back bend, which is why we lean slightly forward. Inhale. Release. Back down to your lunge. Remove your blocks, hands to the mat, back to plank, and push up to down dog. Same on the left side. Slightly lift your left leg and bring it forward, keeping that 90-degree angle. Deep abdominals, stay engaged. Your blocks come out. While stretching your right hip flexor, you're bringing your left hip back. Keep your neck long. It's an extension of your spine. And when you're ready, drop your right heel back. Keep your left engaged and bent, and slightly lift your upper body. Ears between your elbows. Ignite your fingers to the ceiling. Deep breath in. Hands come down to your block. Remove them. Hands to the mat. To plank. And push back to down dog. Next, we're going to come to a standing position and move to tree, my personal favorite. Inhale, look forward, and you're going to walk your feet to your low squat. Now, normally you would just stand. I'm going to turn my body to orient so that you can see it better. But you would just go from flat back up to standing. And I'm going to turn myself here. So starting tree pose on the right side, you'll bring your right knee up, and you can place it in 3 different locations, anywhere but your knee. We don't want to put any pressure on our knee joint, so you can bring it all the way up to your thigh. You can bring it down to your calf, or simply keep your toes on the mat and lift your heel up. Any one of those is a nice variation. We're getting into a balance pose. The key to tree pose is keeping your hips as aligned as possible so that you're not shifting from side to side. So it's helpful to keep your pelvic floor raised, deep abdominal muscles engaged, and then you can lift. Hands come to heart center. Shoulders are down and back. And as you're ready, you can grow your tree. One of the key components of tree pose is also your gaze, or your drishti, and that helps to keep you balanced. If you close your eyes, you may fall over. So if you just gaze just out over your mat, and even play around with bringing your eye gaze up to keep your balance. On your next inhale, you bring your hands back to heart center. Release your leg and bring it down to meet the other. Find Tadasana here, or standing mountain pose. Bring the energy equal in all mounts and all points in your feet. I like to engage the outside edges of my feet. Lift the arch and put slight pressure on your big toe mound. Your knees can be slightly bent. Bring the energy up to your hips, to your abdominals, and up to your shoulders and your head. When you feel you have a strong mountain pose, you're going to put your weight on your right foot and bring up your left into tree on the left side. Mountain pose again. And the last pose in this series is going to be airplane. So you can start with your right foot and just kind of play around with bringing it forward and back, so that you're shifting your weight. And then when you're ready on your next inhale, raise your right knee up. And as if there's a pull going from your sacrum to your shoulder blades to your neck, keep that all one unit, and you're going to hinge your entire body from your waist over to tree. So your right leg is back, hips come level. You might need to bring your right hip down to the ground, and then your arms can go out. There's other variations of where your arms can go. You can do full warrior 3 where it's out front, to the side, or stretched back. Or what I like to do is incorporate the stroke arms. And then hinging from your hip, you'll just straighten up as one unit. And find mountain pose again. And lastly is the left foot. So you're going to bring weight into your right foot and just lift your left leg and play around with your balance. When you're ready, lift that left leg up. And as a whole unit, hinge forward, swing that left leg back, level the hips, arms out, core engaged,